Hello and welcome to my podcast, Conversations with Cornelius, where I, Cornelius Patrick O'Sullivan, discuss, chat and hypothesize on all things from fatherhood, marriage, comedy and everything else in between. From time to time, there will be special guests, but mostly it's going to be me and some regular contributors, including my main squeeze, Noelle Patricia O'Sullivan, aka the wife. So sit back, relax and enjoy Conversations with Cornelius. Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Conversations with Cornelius. I'm your host Cornelius Patrick O'Sullivan, and this week's episode is a super exciting blast from the past. It was an episode that I recorded with a Mr. Bernard Casey way back in the pandemic. At the time, we were toying with the idea of starting a GAA-based podcast called The Square Ball, where we would come on and talk about everything and anything GAA-related, not just specifically what's happening in the games, but talking about the culture, talking about our experiences, talking about the crack, and just talking about everyman stuff that you might hear in a pub if you're sitting up with your two elbows on the beer, on the fucking the bar stool or whatever, the bar counter, and just chin wagging away nonsense. And that's what we wanted to do. And now I'm only coming on, right, to say this to you, okay, before we get into the episode. The quality of the sound in this is not up to its usual high standard, okay? I recorded this in a car in Aaron's Own Gaelic, not Aaron's Own, what is it, fucking, what's the name of the place, fucking hell above tonight, a GA pitch down there just outside Ballincollig. It'll come to me there now in a second. It's not Aaron's Own. But myself and Bernard we sashayed our way there, under the cloud of the 5k. I probably was breaking the rules because Bernard lives in Ballincollig and I live in just outside Mallow, and there was probably a 5k restriction at the time, but you know what, rules are made to be broken, hey? And if they can go on the piss over in England, and if Ryan Tuberty can fucking get 70 grand fucking sashayed into his bank account through fucking little knickknacks, who am I to be strict with the rules, okay? You know, I'm only doing what people in authority are doing. So yeah, my point anyway, right, is that at times the sound goes a little bit grainy on my particular microphone. Bernard's is perfect, but I do think if you can just put up with it for this particular episode, it's still quite audible, it's still very audible, and still you can still hear it, but it isn't crystal clear. So I'm putting in a little disclaimer before we start with that, just so you guys will not give up on it, because it's a podcast that has a lot of heart, and it's good. It's good. I'm proud of it. Bar the at times sketchy sound. So anyway, sit back, relax, and enjoy the Square Ball podcast, part 2, referees.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You're very welcome back to the Square Ball podcast. We're here talking about today. We're going to talk about referees, isn't it?
Yeah, mate. Listen, about that, I was just thinking, you know the way this is a GAA, a goal podcast?
It's football, isn't it?
Yeah, goal.
What?
Goal.
Golf?
Goal.
What's goal?
GRR.
Oh, right. Is
Yeah.
that Irish thing?
It's actually, this is a GAA podcast, and I don't know who let you into this fucking place at all, but you want to get out of here now fairly fucking lively. If you're going to stay anywhere,
all right,
stop
mate.
in the corner there.
All right, mate. All right. I'll head off. So if you want to listen to the Premier League referees, then tune in next week. So yeah.
I'm actually a patron. I probably will be listening.
Oh, great. Yeah. So you know,
it's actually a great podcast, by the way.
Thanks very much.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it.
But still, get the fuck out of here. This is guy.
Okay, sorry. So is this room 2?
No. I don't fucking serious, man. We only have one room here.
All right, I'm in the wrong
building. It's a
building.
caravan.
Sorry, mate. I'm in the wrong fucking.
What are you doing? We're in the middle of a field.
I'm in the wrong camping site. Dígh Carl tá Faltarov Goody, the Square Ball podcast. This Misha Bernard Kazik, Agus Ta Crowur, O'Sullivan. Harry. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Please excuse the beginning there. That was Kyle Rothmore, who clearly had the wrong room.
What was he doing here, man?
I don't
middle
know.
of a field in the caravan. You know.
Excellent. But welcome back to the Square Ball podcast. Just two lads talking about GA. As if we're at a bar stool or in the corner of a room just talking shit. Yeah. And we're just talking about GA because we love it. And that's all. And today we have a very special topic, a very controversial topic, I suppose, at times, and it is referees. So, what are your experiences? What do you think of referees, Con?
Well, I'm glad you asked me that question, Bernard, because I actually wrote down what the definition of a referee was.
Oh, you did your research.
So that I would look like I knew what I was at. And I was going to try and sashay it into conversation.
A referee is someone you call at the bottom of your CV.
No, you're wrong, actually. An official who watches a game or a match closely to ensure that rules are adhered to and to arbitrate on matters arising from play is the definition of a referee. Normally, if you ask me what the definition of a referee is, fucking bollocks.
Yeah, so, officially. I know the ref of the bottom. The ref wrote us.
He wrote us without fucking... No, Dad, fucking put up your pants, ref.
Referees. We're just... Before, as we were doing our research for this topic and we were talking about it, referees get an awful hard time. Particularly at club level.
Well, I warranted an awful lot of it.
It probably is.
A lot of it is. There's a lot of fucking... Oh, Jesus. Like, you have to be very careful here now.
Yeah.
Very careful.
We would. All right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of tough stuff going on out there, yeah.
Like, I was a referee, as you were, for the club, for our own clubs. We were both referees. I was a referee. I refed 2 games.
Well, I refed 1 and I was 14.
Okay, right.
And that was it. But you were an actual, but you were, I was only a referee. For my one, I was only a referee because the fella who was supposed to do it had to go to a funeral, and this is the early noughties. So not going to a funeral was, you might as well have been annexed from the society and put on a ship and sail to the States and never come back. So he said, "You have to do this. I have to go to that funeral. Just Christ, you."
And the game has to be refed.
And it has to be refed. So I said,
Was
"Look,
it a
I'll do
men's
it."
game?
It was an under-12s match in Valencia Island, O'Connor Park, Valencia, between Valencia Young Islanders and Filemore, who were on their own for the under-12s. And I thought, I was like, I can do this. I'm 14, they're only 12. Do you know? And the abuse that I got from the parents, from Filemore, was tragic.
Yeah.
On a 14-year-old.
Yeah.
Do you know? I was like, this is a fucking joke.
They smell it off you, like.
They do. They smell the fear.
They smell the fear.
And the dyscalculia.
And who won the match?
Filemore won.
Filemore.
That's the thing.
Do you know what I was just thinking as you were saying that? Was the fucking... Do you know when they legalised the old condoms? Was that the death of underage in Ireland? Because like Filemore were able to feel their own
back then, if you do the maths, I suppose they were born in 92.
Yeah.
Condoms weren't legalised till 94.
Well, there you go.
There you have it. And
now
we're all joining clubs now, left, right, and centre.
The fucking condom fucked the underage. All right, okay, sorry about that. My experience of reffing is a little bit different. In 2006, either 2006 or 2007, our chairman rang me and he was like, "Are you playing at all this year?" Like, I haven't played really at all since I'd come back from London. And I was like, "No, that's it. No, I'm gone." Kind of hoping that he'd kind of beg me, a little bit of begging. And he was like, "Look, fuck it, we're in a bad situation. We have to have a ref." Or the club is going to be fined and we have to put someone forward. Is there any chance you do it? Look, you really won't have to referee many games. They'll pay you to do it as well. Massive money in refereeing. And, you'll be getting us out of a thing. And I was like, yeah, I'll do that now for the club.
You're like, I'm a Gael. I'm a patriotic. I'm a community man. I'm a club man.
People are going to look at me.
They're going to say, that's the guy who saved us a lot of hassle. He's a real club man. And
that is so far away from the truth. It's so far away.
We got Connie to do it, or he won't take off fucking notice.
They probably asked everyone, and I remember
you were
and I was the dumb fucker who thought he'd do it. And
yeah,
he said, "Yeah, I'll do it."
You were like Father Ted, and they were like looking. It was like, yeah, it's like, "Hi, we're coming from the BBC. We're looking to speak with a Father Ted." Crilly is like, "Oh wow, I can't believe you're looking." Yeah, you were the first guy we were looking for. And he was like ninth on the list. The rest of them are all crossed.
And he's like so delighted that they came to him. Like, yeah. That's pretty much, massage my ego, man. I'll do absolutely anything for you.
Yeah, because you're really good, you're great for doing this podcast and doing all the editing things.
Thank you so much, man.
Because you're really good at it.
Do you know what I mean? And the fact that I'm only paying you $50 to be on this podcast.
I know.
I do all the work. It's great.
But that's you. Like, you're a good guy.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. So I ref 2 matches. The first match that I refed was a hurling match between Dromina and Churchtown, right? And Dromina hammered Churchtown. The game was actually over after about 6 minutes in the first half.
And this is senior level, like, or I know you say junior, intermediate, or whatever, but this is not minors underage.
I tell you now, I was about 35 or 36, and you're talking about men now.
This is only about less than 10 years ago.
Well, I'm 44, so I would have been 30. So what's that? 14 years ago?
Sorry, you were 36.
Yeah.
You were 44 now.
44.
8.
29. I was 29.
You were 29.
Yeah, I was 29. Does that what how many years is that now? I'm no good at maths now.
15
years ago. So 44 to 14, 29. Yeah, 29.
Yeah.
Oh, and what year is that? 2007 or 2006?
Yeah, 2006.
2006. That was the year. And first game anyway, grand. It was I had to do it by myself as well. They sent me on the gear, I had the whistle, and I fucking got back there and I stretched and the
like
whole
signing
lot.
up for summer camp, like.
And I was like fucking going through the rule book and the whole lot the night before, and I had the cards, and I was like, I'm just going to let the game flow now. I'm going to be the referee that just lets the game flow.
Yeah.
And mine absolutely hockey Churchtown now. So the game was over as a contest. No one gave a shit about it. And that was grand. And I came away from it, and I was like, fucking hell, above tonight now. How many miles is that? 15,
but yeah, there you have it.
6 games a week now, and fucking 2 games on a Sunday, you could make €100. But the next game that I was down anyway, you have to send in the match report, and there was nothing to say. There was no bookings or nothing or anything. The next match anyway was a different kettle of fish. It was a Junior B league match in late March between Clyde Rovers, their Junior B team, and Kilshannig, their Junior B team, right? So as you probably know, if you're familiar with Cork, around that time, players that are on the Junior A team, we say the main team in the parish, even though Clyde would have been intermediate at the time, their junior team would have been strong as well.
Yeah.
Would be kind of, it would be taken very seriously.
So these boys are playing for a chance to get into their A team, pretty much. Their A team. That's what they're playing for. So there's things on the line.
Yeah.
Yeah, reputations and egos on the line.
And of course, so this is actually happened now, right? I was playing poker professionally at the time, right? I was a professional poker at the time, player at the time.
You were.
I swear to God, right? And I was playing inside a casino in Cork called the Macau, right? And I had entered on the night before the match was on a Sunday, I entered a tournament for €50 and I got knocked out of the tournament after about an hour, right? And then there was a cash game that started up. And I started playing the cash game anyway. Long story short, by midnight I was down $1,000.
So you said, do you know what'll get me back on track? Refereeing.
So I'm down to ref this match. The match is on. It's a home game in Clyde Rovers, right?
Okay.
And Sunday. This is Saturday night. I'm down $1,000 at midnight.
Okay. And you're down $1,000 at midnight, and you're due to referee this game the following 11:30 the following morning. Okay.
So I was like, I can't leave here down $1,000, like, because the only reason I was down €1,000 was that there was a load of drunk people at the table, and they didn't know what they were doing, and they were getting very lucky. Right?
Yeah.
And I was like, if I just stay here long enough, I'll get my money back and some, right? So I stayed there till 7 o'clock in the morning, 7 a.m., right? And I left. I was still down money. I was down €150, right?
But still, that's not bad.
It
no,
felt like a win. It felt like a win,
exactly,
right? And so I went home, hopped into bed. I was living in Rochestown at the time. Hopped into bed, set the alarm for 10 o'clock, I think it was 10 o'clock. Got a couple of hours sleep, got up, autopilot, drove to the pitch, right? And luckily during the week I had asked a couple of my buddies. I said, look, there's a match on Saturday morning. Fucking, there's a local one. Is there any chance you do the line for me and do
umpire?
And the club had said when they were asking me to do it, they said, we'll support you. We'll send umpires and stuff like that. So shout out to the Model, the Hoover, Skinny, and Luigi. They were the 4 club lads. I won't give away their real names. That's their nicknames.
They're
right?
the 4 boys from the casino the night before.
I owe them 200 each.
Like, I can get you a job doing the line.
You can make it big. So I arrived on anyway. Eyes falling out of my head. Fucking absolutely exhausted from playing poker against these fish all night, trying to get back the money that I lost to them when they were locked. The lads are there anyway, and they're all fresh, bushy-eyed, ready to go. One of them goes on either end of the goal, and one of them's on the line anyway, and the match starts. And I literally hadn't even thought about it. I was so tired. I hadn't even thought about it until I got the ball. And the 4 midfielders were fucking flaking into each other. I was like, oh my God.
Oh no, they're taking it seriously.
Yeah. I was like, oh, this is a fucking nightmare. I threw the ball up anyway. And just like you.
And this is hurling?
No, football.
This is football.
This is football.
This is football. And when you said throw the ball up, yeah, okay.
So I threw the ball up.
That would have been gas if you threw it up and it was hurling.
fucking hilarious.
What time did you go to bed last night, you bastard?
I was down 1,000. But I threw the ball up anyway, and from the minute one, they started flaking each other and throwing fucking dirty digs and any decision I made, and I was trying to make as little decisions as I possibly could.
Of course,
was like they were in my face, roar, and this is Junior B, you know. So I was grand anyway. It was going on like this, and I was like, "This is just like an extended panic attack," is what it felt like. Do you know what I mean? I was like, I couldn't wait for half time, you know.
Yeah,
and then the match was going on anyway. About fucking 25, 30 minutes into it, anyways, I had a look at the watch, and it was still blank. I'd never started it.
So you had no idea, no concept of time whatsoever.
None whatsoever.
And oh my God, what did you do?
So the game's going on. I was like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And then the next thing, players started going, what's left of the rev? What's left of it? I said, get on with it. Do you know that kind of way?
Yeah.
And I was waiting for someone to shout from the line, going, come on, ref, blow
time.
But that would only be at the end of the game usually.
Yeah.
Like, not really at halftime.
Yeah.
So I just kind of winged it when I tossed, you know, and I just went, and no one said anything.
Okay, so you got away with that.
Fucking hell about tonight.
Yeah.
I got into it until I came up to the middle of the pitch, and one of our club mates, Luigi, said, you blew that up 8 minutes before time.
So you only played 22 minutes.
22 minutes, right? But nobody said anything at all, right? So that's grand anyway. And like, of course, I had told them all that I had been out fucking playing cards the night before, you know? And when I play cards, I wouldn't be drinking or anything like that, so I wasn't hungover. I was just really fucking tired.
Naturally exhausted. Yeah.
So that was grand anyway. I was like, I'm not going to make that mistake again anyway. So I fucking catch the ball, I throw the ball back up anyway, and fucking about 6 minutes into it, I'm like, fuck it, I never started to watch.
Again.
I totally forgot to start the watch again. So I started it then, right? And it was about 6 minutes into the second half, and I started
you knew it was 6 minutes just temporary by looking at the sun, like, or did you just
5 or 6 minutes into it, because it just felt like...
It just felt like that.
It felt, I tell you now, I can actually even remember the ball was thrown up, it was broken down, and there was a big free, and there was a kind of a mini shemazel kind of at the start of the second half. Mini shemazel now, like.
And you there pulling out cards, realising it's the ace of spades, and the diamonds. Oh shit!
All in.
Wrong dick.
And like, so I am kind of guessing, but it felt like 5 or 6 minutes into the first half.
Yeah.
So I pressed it on anyway, and I played on, and of course, like, because I had started it late, when the match was over, that all the line people who had been keeping time then in the second half, because you keep time mostly in the second half.
Yeah, of course. People are...
come on, ref, blow it up. And it was very close, and it was so niggly. I was like, I'm going to try and make this a draw.
Yeah,
right?
so you actually had that feeling.
I can categorically say
I
wanted that, and I tried my best to make it so that I would get out of the field alive.
Yeah,
right?
Okay. And had you a banned game during it? Like, were you giving frees away? Were you being...
was so intimidated by both sides. I just wasn't able to, like, you know, I was mumbling and like I was trying to fake as if I had a bit of authority, but they could see right through it. It was my second game. Now you'd have to.
Yeah.
It's like being a stand-up comedian. You get up on stage at the start.
They smell the fear.
They'll smell the fear if you're shit, like.
Yeah.
You know. So anyway, it ended a draw, right? Okay, I gave a 21-yard free, right, and over the bar it went, and the whistle came out, or the ball was kicked out. Game over, and I never ever refereed a game again.
Yeah.
I rang our chairman. I said, no fucking way. I said, I'm not doing it.
Not for me.
And I didn't get much from the line, but I think I might have, only that I couldn't hear it from the abuse I was getting off the player.
Yeah. He's like, I didn't get any abuse from him, because in fact your players were so abusive that I actually couldn't even hear yours.
Yeah. Fucking. And like, you know, when a grown man is roaring at you, for fuck's sake.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely chronic. Like, yeah. Like, I always have a different approach, because I took frees, so the referee was my friend, like always, never, and I've never been sent off. Touch wood, I still have a few B games to be playing. I've never been sent off. A few euros here and there. Could have been sent off once or twice.
You never hit a man a box, like.
Well, we got away with it, like.
Okay.
Yeah, got away with it. Yeah, I put one bad enough incident there a couple of years ago. All right, got away with it.
All right.
The game was over. Like
It wasn't the half. It was half 11.
It was game was over. We were both at it. In fairness, I was probably the instigator. I was high because I wasn't starting and I came on and I got a goal and a point and I got carried away at myself. And then there was a big schmozzle at the end and I got fucking carried away. And I should have been sent off after the game, but I wasn't.
Yeah.
And but what you call it? Oh yeah, the referee was my friend always. Pretended like in my own head, because if a referee gave a free, the first thing anyone's going to do is fuck's sake, ref, you know. And a strict ref will bring it forward. So I'm like, fucking brilliant. And I always did it. I always went up to the referee. I said, fair play, boy. Don't take that shit at all. You don't need that shit at all. You're doing a great job. Fair play, they're taking away the free. Never done for taking too much time. Never done for stealing yards.
You're very handsome, ref. You're very handsome.
And all that kind of stuff. And I was like, exactly. And then if the ball's been kicked, fuck's sake, ref, come on. I was like, hey, boy, you don't need to take that shit at all, boy. Don't be afraid to flash cards at them. It's a total bollocks. Like, just.
But you know what, man? And I can tell you this from.
It works, though.
It's like if
it
all I
works.
on that pitch was a friend. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I had a friend from one's that's all I wanted. You know.
Yeah.
I can see how it does take a certain type of character to become a referee.
That's it.
You
and
know?
That's what we want to talk about now, is like what type of personality is required to be a referee, or what type of person wakes up some morning and says, you know what, I'm going to be a fucking referee. I'm going to be a referee. Like, I absolutely couldn't, like that experience I had under 12s. And they were under 12s. Literally, like Valencia are our rival team, and they were lovely to me. Like they were literally coming up. Remember after the game, there was parents like from the other team. I don't know what they were shouting. They won the fucking game. Like they were like, "I know, no rise to that joke. We were giving free to them the whole time. Of course, we only leave you across the bridge. You're a fucking joke, but you up in the rise, you coward." A 14-year-old like. Yeah. Like, and these lads, I'm like, why are you saying this to me? Like, I know who you are. Like, you're like, you know my parents and shit. These lads, they just got carried away with it. Like, you know, it does. And the Valencia, I remember, never forget, the Valencia parents followed me out the gate because I was walking out the fucking field. Like, I had to go rowing as well. I was bloody rowing afterwards, and I was like, oh my god. I was like, you know, you're like, I'm not gonna cry, am I? Because they were shouting, and like, oh, for fuck's sake. And I know a woman came up from them and was like, I thought she was going to say, take no notice and walk away. And she just stopped me. She said, open your fucking eyes. Oh, my God. A woman in her 50s. And I was only 14. I was like...
And did you give them a ride-in or something? Like, I mean, like
I mightn't have given that. I don't know. I'd say they were just completely carried away with the game.
But you
see Valencia
as well, though.
Yeah.
Absolutely blind.
And they won. That's the thing. The fact that they won the game, and they shouldn't, like, the Valencia were a better team, would have been the better team, like, and it was a surprise that they won. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? These people aren't winning at all. Like,
but you know what it says to me, man? It says to me that referees can be manipulated because they're humans. Like, they won. They were roaring and shouting at you, and they won, like, you know.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm not saying they influenced you, know, but they could have.
They could have, for all I know.
You know?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, I better give that free now if they're all shouting.
They're that's it. They probably did. Yeah.
So it does take a certain type of. I was saying a bollocks.
Character.
Like it does take a strength.
There has to be a thick skin to it, like. Yeah.
Like a lot of people. We were talking before we started. Like, what type of professions do referees have? See a lot of guards. See a lot of teachers. And guards, they're dealing with adversary every day.
So they're kind of used to it.
Yeah.
You know, it kind of water for ducks back to them, like.
You know, people in the army and stuff like that. Teachers are dealing with petulant kids day in, day out.
Yeah.
Again, another step for them into a situation that isn't as
yeah.
foreign, like,
you
know?
Professional gamblers do it. You know, they're well.
14-year-old boys with noughties.
You better not go to sleep tonight, kid. I'm gonna be waiting outside your window.
We know where you live, boy.
Yeah, across the bridge. Yeehaw! But I remember the Valencia parents came up to me after. They were like, "We're so sorry that happened to you. Like, we don't know why they're shouting at you. They won." Like the opposition team who lost came up to apologize for the team that won for shouting at me. I was like, okay, I'm taking this whistle and I'm fucking throwing it off the bridge into the tide.
Never
Never again.
A 2-year-old no interest.
Yeah. But keeping the score, I was like, holy shit, they're all shouting and roaring. I still have to keep the score. Like, you couldn't keep the time, I couldn't keep the score. I think I had the score wrong and a half time and everything. They were like, no, tis 2-8 to 1-7. That one. Yeah, you've won 8 to 2-7. Tis 2-8 to 1-7. And it's like someone shouting at you. You worked in customer service as well, like in phone calls. Like it's like someone shouting at a card number at you. 47212425. I said it already. You're like, I don't know, 47. And they're, Jesus Christ. So people are shouting numbers at you. Just 2728. I didn't. 218 to 27. Completely flustered by it.
So you have to have a thick skin. You have to be cool under pressure.
You do, yeah.
There's two things. You have to have fucking integrity, which neither of the two of us had. Alright, so that's the next thing. You can't succumb to bullies, because I'll tell you one thing. I played in a club and we were great at bullying players and referees. It was one of our strengths that we were so aggressive and animated and in their kind of like, the way Roy Keane would be up to the referees. Our club was like that in our pomp now when we were winning. And I think it does influence, so you have to be able to be cool under pressure. You need to be able to have a bit of integrity, and because it's hard to be impartial.
Absolutely, especially if that's it, lads. I've never seen a referee to change his mind. Don't open your mouth before to the referee. You can be saying that to teams for the next 400 years, and this first thing, free against you. Jesus Christ, bring it forward. It's just a natural reaction, because it's not like rugby. The rules aren't that clear.
No, they're not.
People are like, rugby is was it a thugs game played by gentlemen, and soccer is a gentleman's game played by thugs. Gaelic football is just fucking and hurling. Sure, it's just a load of madness. I was like, hang on now.
You can stick for this one, and we'll make the ball smaller and fucking run with it.
Yeah.
Balance it.
And the other one, then you can use your hands. And you can shoulder each other and push each other, but not in the back. But if the ball is kicked in before we run into the square, that's fine. But if you're inside there already and the ball's kicked, or if you run in before the ball lands in the square, that's square ball podcast.
You said something there now, and I wanted to fucking pick up on it. It's totally gone out of my head. Here, I might come back. Okay, so we went looking for kind of instances throughout history where a referee's decision had a great impact on a game, a much greater impact on the game. And when you said that the history books is written by winners, when you go back, if I said to you, who won the National Football League in 1987, written there is Dublin, you don't know how they won it, you don't know them unless you are an avid fan.
Yeah.
You're a statistic. But so
that 1987 Dublin one,
yes.
that was definitely influenced by a referee, but not that final. It was before it, wasn't it?
Yeah. So it was a quarter final actually. Is Cork? This is in 1987. The championship was knockout, so the league kind of went on longer, and it was quarter final stage in the league. And the way it was the quarterfinals were played between the top two teams from Division 2 versus the bottom two teams of Division 1. Anyway, long story short, Cork and Dublin were to play each other. Dublin were in the relegation zone, and Cork were in the promotion zone. They played each other in Croke Park, and the game was a draw at the end of the match. So the referee said, "Come on, we'll have extra time," but that hadn't been discussed with Cork prior to it, and Cork had no way of getting home. They had to get the train. So they're like, "Well, fucking, how are we going to get home, boy? Do you know what I mean?"
We were fucking away with train to get a Houston station.
I mean, it's grand for Larry and Shay. They can stay in Kildare, like.
Yeah.
So they said as a group, they said, "No, I mean, we're gonna get this. Wasn't told to us beforehand," and they would be stuck there, like. And back then, there isn't I suppose, money was a lot tighter back then. I'm not saying that money isn't tight now, but
But this is late 80s,
yeah, we'll put you up to county board, we'll cover that or whatever.
Yeah.
So it would potentially be out of their own pockets, which you just don't know. So they got on the train and they went away home. But the referee decided in all his glory that he was going to start the extra time anyway. Dublin came out onto the pitch. And
No Cork.
15 Dublin players. He threw the ball up. Barney Rock got it. The father of Dean Rock, multi-All-Ireland winning fucking Dublin senior.
Cousin, neighbour to Fred Flintstone.
Very good friends
Yeah.
Very good friend
Yeah.
of him. And he scored a goal, and that was it. And Dublin went on then to win the league and never win anything again until 1995.
1995 was the next time they won something.
So there was, but like that is a referee's decision that influenced a national league winning team. Dublin went on then to win the league after that, and that was a decision that he could have made either way. He could have said, "Look, lads, look, Cork, in fairness,
They had to get the train, lads, and they're 2.5, 3 hours away.
Yeah, so making the decision to throw the ball up,
and that's it.
Off you go.
I remember seeing that happen on a few occasions. The 2004 South Kerry Minor semi-final, Waterville versus the Marys, St Mary's, Grassveen. We had played the B semi-final before that, and I think we lost. But we wouldn't like the way it works in South Kerry is like if you lose the first round, you go into the Bs. And I think we played Ballyfalmore. They've been very strong. Lost that anyway. But the other semi-final, the A semi-final, was supposed to be on afterwards, and the Marys were out on the pitch, and everyone's like, "Where the hell are Waterville?" Like, and Waterville were told the game was called off. They were told the game was called off. Apparently, no, I don't know exactly what happened, but there was something to do with it anyway that Waterville wanted the game called off because they said loads of our lads are away. We can't play on Saturday at that time or whatever. And there was some breakdown in communication anyway, whatever happened. And the referee threw the ball up anyway. Our man caught it in the middle of the field. Right, and I remember we were all watching, thinking it was hilarious. Like, man kicked it into the net and there was a pitch invasion then.
I wonder was the precedence set so with that Cork-Dublin match in 87? Do you know? Like, I wonder was that precedence set then? Because, like, I'd never heard of that happening again now until you just said that there. It's fucking gas.
Yeah. I think it happened in... Where else did it happen? I don't know. Did it happen to us once? I think it happened to us once in an under-16 game or something. Jeez. Something ridiculous. Yeah, it's happened a few times, all right. It's happened in junior games. If a team doesn't notify the county board or the referee or whatever, or the other club that they're not turning up, then they'll throw the ball up and away they go.
I suppose you need rules, don't you?
It's hilarious for like the 20 seconds after it happens. It's like, sure, he ran from the midfield. He pretended he was going to punch over the bar and kicked it into the net. That's gas. Yes. Suppose we'll go home now. We'll go home now, I suppose. Yeah. I was looking forward to the game. He did.
Another one then that I came across, and this is probably more in. People probably remember this one is the '98 All Ireland semi-final, hurling semi-final.
Offaly versus Clare.
Yes. So you know about that.
I do know. I was watching it live at the time in my grandaunt's house, which is about 4 or 5 houses down from me, in towards the middle of the village, across from the post office in Portmagee. And my cousins used to come down from Dublin, and we were all in her house. Me, my sister, my brothers, all their family, just watching it, passively watching it on and off, whatever. I was only 8, but I do remember it was shortly after the Omagh bombing. Actually, it wasn't long after that, August '98, or it might have been before it. It was very in and around that time. So I remember like people were gathered around the TV quite a lot around then because there was just so much happening. What's happening next with what happened up in the north and whatever, and that game was on as well. So that added another dimension, obviously not as tragic as the Omagh bombing, but it added a number of kind of, Jesus, did you hear what happened in the All-Ireland hurling semi-final? So tell, a lot of you, probably listeners are younger and they might know this.
They might know.
So,
and even if you do, you might have forgotten, and it's nice to remember.
To remember, yeah.
I think that is something that we're definitely going to do in the podcast, is because we're fond of nostalgia.
We're nostalgic men.
And sometimes with sport as well, and with great sport, you always hear because I don't look to the past, I only look at the future. Tomorrow, next game, next game.
That's fine if you're a manager, but if you're a player that had notions of being something once and that never happened, then the past is a great place.
Yeah.
And
the thing is as well is, like, I am 44. I am grossly overweight. I can't really run. I'm left-footed and I'm not great on my left foot. But if I got myself back in shape,
got the right personal trainer.
Like, I've never had a PT.
Yeah, that's it. Sure, that was what's wrong. You see,
so, like,
you never know. There's a chance.
Hurling, like upstairs, I am very quick.
Yeah.
But
the '98 semi-final, Offaly versus Clare, hurling.
So there was 3 minutes to go, and the referee's name was Jimmy Cooney, and he Clare were winning by 3 points, and he blew up 3 minutes to go, and there was war. He had to be escorted off the pitch by the guards. I think he knew quite shortly afterwards that he had made a mistake, but it had kind of gone too far before he could. Really, it hadn't gone too far. He just turned around and said, "Look, fucking lads, I'm really sorry. I'm after making a mistake there. Look, 3 minutes fucking plus injury time." But anyway, he was escorted off the thing, and to their eternal credit, the Offaly supporters fucking went onto the pitch and sat down and did a peaceful sit-down protest. Like you see stuff that goes on in different countries.
Yeah, I would highlight anyone that hasn't, or I would suggest anyone that doesn't know this or hasn't seen it. It's actually a class video to see all the Offaly hurling fans, and you wouldn't like Offaly hurling is non-existent to what it was back then in the late 90s, and they all sat down. I remember they were telling everyone to sit. No, instead of being roaring and bellowing like you'd see in Premier League, they all sat down, waving their flags, had their chance.
And I tell you, that Offaly team was littered with fucking unbelievable hurlers. Brian Whelan, Simon.
John Troy, wasn't it? Brian Whelan.
Simon Whelan, fucking.
Johnny Pilkington.
Dooley. What's your man there? He's the chairman of the county board now. He's on the Sunday game sometimes.
Michael Dignan.
Absolutely but they were a swashbuckling mad bunch of men, very hard to. I think Hubert Rigney was
they had some great names. Johnny Pilkington, Hubert. What's his name? Hubert. What a name! Like that's the quarterback at some high school in the States. Like
is a funny kind of a name as well.
Dooley. There was 3 brothers, wasn't there? The 3 Dooleys.
And the Whelans, there was 2 Whelans.
Yeah, there were Wheelahans. Yeah.
But so this is the thing, right? So the referee blew up 3 minutes early, right? All the supporters sit down, right? Offaly had lost to Kilkenny in the Leinster final as well. Kilkenny had a great team at the time. DJ Carey was unreal, and something happened anyway. The game was rescheduled for 6 days' time in Thurles, and something happened within that Offaly camp, and they fucking I think it was their fans sitting down. It was because how much it meant to the fans and the players. Some sort of a bond happened.
It was, yeah.
They came back. They beat that Clare team who'd won in '95. That was a great
and they won in '97 as well.
Yeah. It was a great Clare team.
Yeah.
To be fair, by your man. Actually, he's here at the moment.
How's it going?
How are you, Jor?
Well, I don't know what the name of God happened that week with Jimmy Cooney. He's refereeing games in the week in, week out at 30 minutes, and it was only 5 more minutes. 3 minutes was nothing.
And just one thing I've always wanted to ask you, Jor. The comb over. Like, would you ever just think of shaving off the head?
Do you know what? I thought about it for a long, long time, and I said no, I won't. You always have to hang on to that little bit of hope. A little bit of hope. Like,
will you ever get back into the game, George? Do you think you ever?
No. I'm gone away from it now. Happy out now. Chilling out.
Left in your life?
Yeah, the whole lot now. I might. The Clare footballers seem to be doing a lot better now at the moment. So looking forward to seeing what they're going to conjure up now in the coming year. I say they're going to catch Cork this year. I have a fair idea now. David.
Will Collins get podged out of the hurlers?
He will. Yeah.
Okay, you heard it here first, lads. With
Gerlachnain.
George, put us back on the burner there, will you?
I will. Thanks.
What are you doing here anyway?
I don't know. Actually, I think his family in the area. I think he came down.
He was like a dog over it. He was like saying that Gerlachnain was saying that
It shouldn't be replayed.
The referee's decision is final. But my point again here is awfully galvanised. They almost lost that game. They probably would have lost.
They would have lost it. Yeah. Clare were also on the attack when he blew it up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And Clare were fucking sensational. They were really good. Something happened. They clicked. They went on. They beat them in the replay, and then they went on to beat a really good, highly fancied Kilkenny team.
Yeah.
They were beating them in the Leinster final, and the rest is history. And that's all down to a referee's decision.
Yep. And that was the beginning of the Kilkenny, that amazing Kilkenny team. They lost in '98. They lost in '99. And he could have done the double. Was he lost the football the following week, and then 2 weeks later, he did. And then in 2000, no, we didn't. 2000, then Kilkenny annihilated Offaly in the All Ireland final, and then they won in 2002. 6, 7, 8, 9. They went well on their way. Then again,
when they got to kind of 6, they just took off. Really.
They did, yeah. They were in a different league. They stopped the treble for Cork that time in 06.
Tipperary stopped
they're 5 in a row.
5 in a row as well, and that was a good Tipperary team as well. But like that Kilkenny
Yeah. They're in a league of their own. They're there with James Corden and the rest of them all Premier League players in a league of their own, huh?
James Corden.
Yeah.
Oh, James.
But that I remember that incident very well. And I suppose in my own one, in terms of the biggest one for me, really, the biggest refereeing controversy for me, and it's still, I can't imagine being from this county, the hurt that it caused, is Meath and Louth in 2010. Now that, the wee county, I was working at the time in the shop on a Sunday, and I always had the radio on. So it's a post office and a shop. Post office is closed on Sunday, so I'd have the radio on, and it was Micheál Hertig last year as well, so it was fantastic listening to it. Like, I almost enjoyed working on a Sunday. Pip, 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 you're totting up the till, people are getting their messages. What's the score now? Hang on a second. And it's come out to the bit. JP rolling down. That's over the bar and Louth. They're taking it 2 points. They're 2 points up. Jesus, wouldn't it be brilliant? Odds going to have Louth won it, huh? They haven't won since the 50. Oh my God almighty. Great. And the see, it would Fitzpatrick. Peter Fitzpatrick?
I think that's it.
Peter Fitzpatrick. He had a very kind of distinct kind of voice. He had a very distinct voice. He went to Fine Gael, yeah, he was. But no, perfect. No, all these little details. This is the thing. We're not analysts or thing. We're just two normal lads talking about it. So, so I will go off on tangents every now and then. But for those that don't know, every majority of people will know this. But Louth were a point up. They actually had the ball underneath the Hogan stand. They were sogling up. The cornerback had it, soling up. And I remember listening to it, and the TV was on inside in the sitting room in the house at the shop. So I went in. I said, "Screw this! the queue can wait. This is big, like."
Yeah.
And what used to drive me mad as well is people who say that they're big the blowers in the pub, and like they'd be coming into the shop then doing their shopping in the middle of the Leinster final. I said, "You're always talking about fucking football, saying this, that, and the other. The Leinster final's on now at the moment, and you're here doing your shopping. Why aren't you watching it? I don't mind that. Don't mind that game."
Yeah.
I'm like, "You're not a GA supporter." Anyway, I went into the sitting room to watch it. Your man was under the stand, and I was like, all you have to do is hold on to it. All you have to do now is hold on to it. He tried to give a pass up to the 45 on the other side. Of course, 50-50 ball, broken down. Ball was driven down the field by Meath, kicked high into the square. Now, this was a merciful
Who kicked it
Shemazel.
in? Garrity?
I don't know who kicked it in.
Or was it Giles?
No, Giles was
Giles
definitely gone? Well gone at that stage. Garrity was around. I don't know, was he playing then? But the ball went in high anyway. Meath weren't good then, like.
No, they weren't.
They did beat Dublin, all right. That was they beat Dublin. Well, they'd Stephen Bray and a few other guys there, Brian Mead and things. And of course, their main man was Sheridan.
Yeah.
The ball got to Sheridan.
Killian Sheridan.
No, Killian Sheridan. He was the
who's he?
soccer player.
Oh, he's a soccer player from Cavan.
From Cavan, yeah.
What's Sheridan's first name?
Sheridan's first name. It's gone from me.
Oh, fuck's sake. I'll Google it.
It's gone from me.
I'll Google it. Go on, tell me.
Sheridan
Keep going anyway, because
right?
I know he's a big, tall,
big, strong fella.
Ginger, baldy fella.
Yeah, strong fella. In fairness, what would any man do if he fell? Like he caught the ball down, he was surrounded, nothing he could do, so he threw the ball into the net. And like I remember seeing it in real time, thinking, that's Joe Sheridan.
Yeah,
God's sake,
Joe
what's wrong
Sheridan.
with us at all?
Well,
sorry,
fuck,
Joe,
we're
if
doing
you're
all
listening.
right.
You're
We're
probably
doing
not.
all right for two lads.
You're probably
okay. I remember. I do not blame him.
Not
in
at
any
all.
way, shape, or
Absolutely not. No. Sure. What else would you do? Of course you would do it. You're not going to say sorry, lads. Just to let you know, I actually threw that.
But do you blame the referee there as well?
It's hard. It's the umpires. The umpires should have seen that. It was so blatant from the TV in real time that the umpires should have seen that. But the thing is, that started the debate then of the umpires having more power, because the umpires were like, our job is only to see if it's square ball or a point or wide. We've nothing to do with that.
Like that, did that referee get a box going off the field?
That's the thing. That's what happened. Unfortunate for Martin Sludden. He was immediately the whistle was blown immediately after kick out. Meath won by 2 points.
God.
And then a swarm of Louth fans entered the pitch. Now it was like initially it was just people finger wagging and going, "It's a disgrace, a disgrace." And then there was the pushing and the shoving. Yeah. And that was bad, obviously.
Yeah.
Now, like
there's nothing better than being at a league match on a Sunday morning and a Shemazel breaks out and there's a couple of lads throwing a few boxes, but nobody wants to see a fucking referee being attacked coming
No,
off the pitch,
no,
it's just
it's not nice.
it's not nice.
The thing is, like that, if you put it, I suppose, in the perspective of that referee and his family as well. You know, he's probably the wife and kids at home watching that, extremely worried for his own. Like, because anything could happen. In the white heat, anything could happen. You can I understand the loud fans were completely insane. They any of them could have thrown him a box.
Yeah.
And it could knock them out. Could have killed anything. Could have happened.
Dead.
Like you just don't know. Like
Meath went on then to win.
Meath won that. Then they went on to play Kildare in the quarter-final. Kildare beat them.
Okay.
And then Kildare played down. Like the 2010 season was the weirdest season ever. So the All-Ireland semi-final pairings were obviously last year was 2020 was worse, were more strange. Semi-final pairings in 2010 were Kildare and Down on one side and Cork and Dublin on the other. Yeah. And like I don't think those semi-final pairings are going to happen anytime soon. The next quarter of a century. Maybe Cork and Dublin.
You mean what were the semi-final pairings last season?
That's it.
Do you know
that is true.
Like
that is true.
Cavan and Tipperary, you're not going to like. That's the thing with GA. This is, I think we might have been talking about this on another podcast. Is when you invest money in the youth, in the young development of the game into a county. I'm talking proper money into it at a very young age, and that is kept going for a period of time. That will breed players. Players breed interest. And when players start winning games, they start
breeding families.
And then, unless it is the year is 1990 and you live in Ballyfilemore, no contest. My last example of a referee influencing a game to a massive level is the All-Ireland semi-final in football, minor All-Ireland semi-final.
Oh yes,
in the year 2000, the turn of the millennium. We had lost the All-Ireland the year before, in '99 in football.
To Meath, Ollie Murphy.
Ollie, bollocks. So we were playing Derry, and Kieran Murphy got 2 yellow cards and never got sent off. Referee never sent. Massive gaff. Just completely didn't realise it until after the game. I actually don't think even Derry realised it until after the game. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The final score was 14 to 15. Cork won by a point. And
so 14 points to 15.
14 points to 15, and Cork dismissed all notions of a replay. They were like, "Nah, we're into the final now. The referee didn't do anything about it."
It was the semi-final.
It was the semi-final.
Yeah.
And that team then went on to beat Mayo in the All Ireland final. And there was a couple of players on that team that went on then to be successful senior footballers that won the All Ireland in 2010.
Noel O'Leary.
Yeah, Noel O'Leary. Nicholas Murphy, I think, was on it as well. And
there's probably a good few more now.
Yeah. So that's another direct, massive mistake that led to something being in the history books forevermore. So it's a very important position, that referee, and I think.
And it's such a small. It could be like that can easily happen. Yeah, you know, you could book a lad twice and forget to send them off. It's happened a few times. I remember being highlighted in the Sunday game, and after like, as you remember, Tony Davis used to be on it, and as you can see here, he was booked again, and referee failed to send him off.
I'd be like, what are you talking about, Tony? You got sent off in an All-Ireland final, but keep your mouth shut, boy, will you?
That was very harsh, actually.
Harsh.
That was one of the worst.
And I felt so sorry for him. I think he had a tragedy in his life around that time.
That's
as well.
Right. Yeah.
And very harsh.
Very harsh. I remember if you want to see an actual player being like literally crushed from a decision because he just went to shoulder, missed time.
Yeah, I think the referee was trying to send a message as well, because like those games
were very rough.
They were very rough, but like,
and he just pointed to the thing, and he just the head went down. It was very sad to watch, actually.
Yeah, like when you think of it, like Tony would have been the man to send off because anyone else would have ate the head off him. Like, do you know what I mean? Again, you could be questioning all these things.
And Derry won that All Ireland.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
There you have it.
Yeah, it all hinges on like as Pacino says, inches.
It's right in front of your face.
And all around. You got one grim. Yeah, I'm doing personalized Pacino videos if you want, Laird. $6,000 for
$6,000. That's all right. And 2 minutes. That's all right.
It's just me repeating what I just did there.
Excellent.
Over and over.
Excellent. That's really forward to that. So for anyone who's looking for some videos, please get on to .ie. But if you think about the Loud situation and Meath, like that finished them as a as a power. Well, they were never really a power at the time, but that finished their potential because they had great. Like JP Rooney was a great player for them. He played for a long time. I know there was White and
there's a farmer that plays. He takes their frees. He still plays with them. What's his name? Oh no, that's Westmeath. I'm thinking of. Sorry.
You're thinking of Heslin, I suppose. John Heslin. Yeah. For midfield for Loud was a man by the name of, what was his name again? Was it not Rooney? Oh God, he was a fantastic. I don't think he got an All-Star in the end, but he was named in the Sunday Game Team of the Year. Jesus, our names are gone from us. What the hell is wrong with us? Because we're thinking of this off the spot. Like we don't have any research on this. Like
what was? Did they get it? Did
I remember listening
that year. Did they get an All-Star?
I don't think they got he got the All-Star.
That was a semi-final of a Leinster. There'd be
cry. Yeah. It was what in the name of God? How can't I remember his name now? He was a brilliant player. I'm going to check
Loud
him up
midfield.
Here. Brilliant midfielder altogether. Keenan, Paddy Keenan. Paddy Keenan. Yeah, great player. And I remember that when the Sunday Game were naming their Team of the Year, and we were watching it in the pub, and I just knew I had a far more deeper interest in GA than my counterparts at the time. And I said midfield, Michael Darmacali and Paddy Keenan, and everyone with me just turned around and said, "Who the fuck are they?"
Did you know who Michael Darmacali was?
Not then, not in 2010. He had just started. He was more of a basketballer, and he was so unusual then, Michael Darmacali.
Even the way he
the way he ran and everything, nobody had seen a player like that until then. They were like, "Geez, your man midfield for he's a square all running him, but geez, he carries the ball some distance." Yeah, you know. But Paddy Keenan was a glorious footballer. He played for a few more years, but they played Dublin in the qualifier after that, and they were wiped. You know, the heart was gone from it.
What year is that now? What year?
That was 2010.
2010. So we're 2021 now. So 11 years later, there's the first kind of sprinklings of hope now coming back into Loud because with Mickey Hart. Yeah, it's the first time that, like, I heard that was it might have been a podcast I was listening to where people were there was lads getting on to Mickey Hart's backroom team going, why aren't they coming to matches? Why aren't they asking me to come back to the panel and all this kind of stuff? There's actually players wanting to play for them for the first time now.
That's class to see. Like, that's brilliant to see. Do you know? But
hopefully he could do something with him now because I think did he feel shafted? But he literally was gone from Tyrone and he was with them for so long.
Yeah,
he kind of felt like, I've got something to prove here. Like,
yeah, well, I think it's with 2 years, the kind of, we'll say the former players and the kind of mentality in Tyrone was like, maybe it's time for him to move on now because you know they got to an All-Ireland final in 2018. Fucking had Dublin on the ropes for the first 20 minutes. They were 5-1 ahead at one stage. Yeah, you know. They drove on. Like if that was the Tyrone team of 08, they would have driven on more and more. Like, but. It just wasn't really happening for them after that.
Because it'd be very interesting to see if he can do anything with Loud. I mean, it would be absolutely amazing if he could.
Oh yeah, like realistically, he just wants to get up to divisions. Really, Loud would want to be in Division 2. Really, they're Division 4. They're going up. They'll probably go up. They'll probably win.
Like I think, like for them, success would be to move up a division from 4 to 3 anyway. Yeah, and. Maybe beat Wexford, maybe beat
you'd want to be beating everyone obviously except Meath, Kildare and Dublin.
Yeah. If they got Kildare
Westmeath would be
it'd be almost
if they beat someone like Westmeath, that'd be a big scalp for them. Yeah.
But something to work with anyway.
It would be nearly a reach too far if it was Kildare or Meath or Dublin, I think.
Do you know what I was thinking there recently? And I don't know, was I saying it to you or I might have been saying it to someone else, but there's so many great managers that aren't employed managing county teams now. Wouldn't it be fucking amazing if the GA were like, all right, like Jimmy Barry Murphy, I want you to go up there to Cutting Carlow.
Where's Jimmy Barry Murphy gone?
Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm just picking.
Yeah,
even go down to manager, I know Maurice Fitz now is involved with Kerry this year, but if he wasn't involved with Kerry, that like you're going to go up, you're going to be a consultant now in a county that's gone beyond them, like
Exactly, yeah. Like Miko did it. He kind of did it himself, really, where he went to. Laois, Kildare, Laois and Wicklow, and then he went to Clare. I think
he was in Clare as well. That was his last one, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think Clare was the last one. Yeah, And his last team officially was the Waterville under 14s. Was his last
And they
team.
won.
They did.
I had my wife's nephew.
That's
was
right.
playing in it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Mhm.
Jeez.
So my
so you
nephew
have
in law.
the likes of
Kind
that
of
now.
blood. Half blood.
That is, but.
So now so.
But great player as well, or a great manager too, who I love seeing, was Pete McGrath. He was in charge of Down in 91 and 94, and he was in charge of Fermanagh in the last couple of years until your man took over.
Kind of a wily
Just
looking.
he's kind of like a quiet man with just a real Northern Ireland kind of, I'd say, a polite kind of gentleman in charge of these teams, but he makes them like those Down teams were class.
Like
he's a guy when he's in charge of a team, and like, watch out for this team; they can take a scalp because they've your man in charge. You know, so maybe Mikko could do that with, or not Mikko, Mickey Hart could do that with Loud.
He could do it. Like, I like the fact that Geezer's gone back to Armagh, but like even when he was like, I love seeing that as well. Like seeing the likes of like when McGeaney was in charge of Kildare. Like, I'd love to see, like, I know he doesn't, he's not involved in Gaelic games anymore, but like, imagine Jim McGuinness now getting Cork as a 3-year project. Like, I just think he would do wonders.
That would run against the Cork plan.
Oh, sure, for
5-year plan.
Of course it would.
That would be against the what is it? The Corkness, is it?
Well, we're very black when it comes to trying to keep it in-house. It's very, like nearly in everything, we're very traditional when it comes to the traditions of the GAA. So I kind of respect that as well in a way.
Exactly. You know, you'd understand because it's a big county too. Like
it is, and it is a big county. And there's a lot of clubs, so there is a lot of talent within there. But like, if you look at our, we've got your man from Kildare now, who's fucking fitness coach, Cian O'Neill.
Mm-hmm.
So do you know, they don't have to be at the very head of the table either. Like, you know.
No,
but anyway.
Exactly. There we have it. But for anyone knowing what a referee gets for every match, Cornelius, it is?
They get, is it €13?
€13, 71 cents,
and
plus 50 cent per mile. No, whatever, are they updated? No.
I wonder,
it changed to kilometres about 20 years ago.
Sorry, you're after putting in the claim there in miles.
Yeah. You're going to have to return that there. You've actually claimed a little bit too much there now. About €400 extra. So
if they paid,
return that, thanks.
Yeah, when I was referee, I didn't even put in for expenses. I was just like, oh my god, I don't.
Oh jeez, I nearly put in for counselling.
Yeah. Like, I wonder, could I get like a retrospective counselling from them?
Look after. Look, there'll be a bloody. There's, you know, what's his name, Bernard Flynn and Michael Dignan. Actually, after they're setting up a kind of thing to look after former players. They're trying to set up a movement. You know, lads who suffer bad injuries and you know, maybe suffer with mental health or whatever as a result of their careers and their personal lives are taken. There could definitely be one for referees who've suffered immense abuse. Don't through the unfairness. Some things are absolutely hilarious, right? I was in goal for the junior team in Portmagee. I was 16, so it was kind of a way of blooding you into the senior setup, you know. So look, go and go for the juniors, and you know, get a feel for it, whatever. And we were playing our good old rivals Ballyfalmore, and a lad came on, and I won't say his name. No. I know, but he came on, and he was a good player, like, but he was a little bit older now at this stage, and the ball was going over towards the end line, and I was like, "That's got out," but he kept it in, like he backheeled it, and he kept it in, and he actually kept it in. But the fact, you know, every goalie wide,
yeah.
Referee goes wide ball, and your man turned around, and it was the most beautiful yet insulting abuse that I've ever heard a referee get. That it was, he just goes, "What? That wasn't wide, you stupid fucking retard!" What? So he called. Now it's wrong to say the last word, but he said it was wide, you stupid cunting blind fucking.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
So everyone just goes, "Wow, how did he get those 5 words out in 3 seconds?"
3 syllables.
In 3 syllables. Yeah, so he said it all at once, and we were all going, "Jesus, that was some abuse."
That was poetic, but it's like, and the GA in general as well. It's interesting to kind of like, I mean, it's grassroots. It's Ireland to its core. It's old Ireland. It's new Ireland. And it's quite traditional. But like, we're living in a modern world now, so it's an interesting time. It's a bit of a melting pot in terms of ideas and fucking moving forward and.
Absolutely.
You know.
And we need referees.
And we do. And
we
like,
need people to go for it. And it takes a certain level of strength and confidence
it does.
to go for one,
And
to be one.
they're getting a little bit more help at the higher level now as well.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you said it there yourself. We need referees, so try and be nice to them, even though they're a shout of cunts.
And my favourite referees were always the quiet ones, the ones that gave the free and didn't say anything. Yeah, you know, there's great ones out there. I just remember underage, I was like, he's not shouting back at anyone. He's not going. He's just going this way. Maybe it's because he didn't want to actually ref the game, and he had to because the ref didn't turn up. But I like those referees.
Yeah, it's the ones that are like almost like Hitler-esque with their hands going out so rigid, like, you know, and they're like blowing the whistle and particularly in hurling. One of the things, my pet peeves is a ref going, "No, puck out the ball, time the whistle fucking blown."
Yeah.
Like, we're trying to play a new game here, ref, where we're trying to get the ball out quickly. The ball has gone wide. Why do we have to wait for the whistle? Just turn around and face the ball. Okay, that's my wife ringing there now.
Yeah. I suppose that's time for us to wrap it up. I think I have a few missed calls as well.
Right, okay, very good. We have to come up with a new email address now. Do you know what? The squareball@gmail1.com, squareball1@gmail.com. We'd have to come up with a new one.
Is there that email is gone?
That fucking
You're not going to email us anyway.
Yeah. Who's going to email us? Yeah, exactly. We don't want you to email us at all. Find us online, Bernard Casey Comedy, and I'm Cornelius the Comic on Instagram. And that's enough.
That's
enough.
Guys, God bless.
Yeah.
And we'll talk to you again.
God bless. Bye-bye.